I originally wanted to be a fighter pilot, so I wanted to fly. And then life had different plans. I was all set wanting to go to the Air Force Academy, and I ended up playing lacrosse in high school at my sophomore year, and colleges started looking at me, and I ended up playing at Johns Hopkins. Growing up, I always had, I don't know, like the underdog spirit. I never liked to see good people, even from a young age, be treated poorly. I guess I always had that servant heart, and law just kind of fit well with my personality. And then I went to law school, and in law school, I was in law school when 9/11 happened. So I wanted to go join the Air Force. My dad was in the Air Force, retired as an Air Force officer. So that was something that I always found admirable. And so when 9/11 happened, I was living in New York City. I was actually on my way to law school that day when it happened. We thought at that time, you know, cell phones weren't the thing that they are now. Somebody on the bus, I was taking the bus from uptown to downtown to get on the subway, and somebody started yelling, you know, planes hit the towers, and then from there it was just chaos. So 10 years later, I joined. So in the Air Force, we're general practitioners, but when you start out, you do administrative law, and then from there you do military justice. So that's, you know, I was on the prosecutorial side, if you will, at doing court martials. And from there, I ended up, when I went to DC, so we were on Guam for a while, ended up going to DC, and then that's how, in my civilian capacity, I ended up being a trial attorney for the Air Force at the headquarters level. With the COVID mandate that the Air Force, the DOD, you know, they required us to get vaccinated. And I think that was the push that God had set for me to say, I am now it is going to be clear to you what you are meant to do. And I really believe that. I knew, and I prayed, and I hoped to figure out, well, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing, God? I don't have the answer, and I've tried to figure it out. And so when I submitted my religious accommodation request on the civilian side, and there wasn't a process for that to go through, and it was very heart-wrenching, really, because I love my job, I love the people that I served with. You know, other than this thing, I wasn't looking to go anywhere else. I was just praying to know, I knew there was something else, but I didn't know where. And so through that process, I ended up meeting Mike Berry. And also through that process, my husband, he's an airline pilot with United, he ended up having his company force a mandate on him. The two of us were faced with losing all of our jobs, my 2 jobs, his job, and weren't thinking about the next step. We were just thinking, this is wrong, we're going to fight this, and these people can't trample our religious liberties. So religious liberty, I would say, is more important now than ever for people to understand what it is, to understand why it's important, and for us to do what we do. We are, in my view, the linchpin to ensuring that religious liberty remains intact in our society. If you want freedom, you need religious liberty. I am Danielle Runyan, and I am first in the fight.